Hello there, my fellow travelers, and welcome to yet another episode here on Strictly Flying. I hope you're all doing fantastic, and on this episode, I am going to be spending the night at the airport here in the Norwegian capital of Oslo and continue my journey to Brazil via Paris, France, the following day in the very early morning. Now, the reason for spending the night here at the airport is due to several reasons. Firstly, my journey originated in the city of Stavanger here in Norway, where I have just disembarked. Now, this flight was carried out by SAS Scandinavian Airlines, and they do not share the same alliance with Air France that is taking me all the way to Brazil. Therefore, these tickets were purchased separately. So I have to collect my checked-in baggage here in Oslo and check them in again the following day. Now, I could have spent the night at a hotel, however, the few hotels that are within walking distance to the terminal are insanely expensive. And since I arrived quite late in the evening from Stavanger and my check-in is at 4:30 early in the morning the following day, it just makes no sense to pay this amount just for a few hours sleep. Also, I have spent the night before at Oslo Airport, however, that was on the air side of the terminal after security. However, on that trip I had no checked-in baggage, only carry-on, and that meant I did not have to collect any baggage, so I could safely stay inside the terminal until the following day. This time, however, I do have checked-in baggage, and I have to collect these and leave the terminal building and spend the night in the check-in area. So I'm quite anxious to see if I'll be able to get some quality sleep here without too many interruptions. I have, however, seen passengers sleeping here in the check-in area before, and I've already got a pretty good idea where to find a good place to settle down. Now, just as a quick reminder, in all of my videos there are timestamps that you can skip ahead to the parts that interest you the most. Now, you don't have to watch every single bit of this trip report. Simply check out the timestamps and you can skip ahead to the parts that interest you the most. Now, I've noticed that right beside the check-in area for Air France, there are some windows that have a wide ledge where it is perfect to lay down. This also means I don't have to sleep on the floor. I also had a few towels in my luggage, so I used these as padding, and it was actually quite comfortable. Free Wi-Fi in the entire airport also meant I could watch a few movies before trying to get some shut-eye. Now, the check-in area was soon empty as the last flight of the day had already departed, and to my surprise, I was the only passenger occupying this part of the terminal. There was, of course, the occasional random security announcements about not leaving your bags unattended. However, it was mostly very quiet. Also, there was a bit of noise from the snowplows right outside the window that were constantly driving around clearing the snow that had fallen earlier in the day. I'm just hoping that the snow and ice won't cause any delays to my flight tomorrow morning, as I have a very short layover in Paris before continuing on my flight to Brazil. Now, I have to admit, I didn't get much sleep. Nothing can substitute a good night's sleep in a proper bed. However, I still feel quite rested, and although I'm tired, I'm not feeling exhausted. Now, check-in for my flight has just opened, so let's just get checked in and get some breakfast in the lounge. The lounge for Air France in Oslo Airport is actually very good, especially the breakfast selection. However, since they don't open their doors before 5:30 in the morning, I've only got around 50 minutes to grab a coffee and a sandwich before I have to run to the gate. Now, the SES Scandinavian Lounge is located right next door and opens its doors at 5 o'clock, so I don't understand why this lounge has to open up 30 minutes later. Anyways, let's just head to the gate and I can tell you a little bit about the aircraft that will take us to Paris today. Our aircraft for today is an Airbus A319 and has registration of Foxtrot Golf Romeo Hotel Sierra, and this aircraft is currently 22 years old.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard aircraft. Please store your baggage in the other compartments. Only small hand baggage and accessories must be placed under the seating pocket.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Charles Simoneau. I'm the captain with the first officer, Mr. Théophile Delmer, and all the cabin crew. It's our great pleasure to welcome you aboard for this flight to Paris. Should be ready for departure in a few minutes. We are just waiting for the last pieces of luggage to be loaded on board. And then before we are aboard, we are going to have to proceed with the icing operations of our wings for safety reasons, just to shed some ice of the tip of the wings before we are aboard. Then the flight time will be approximately 2 hours, and we should be landing in Paris at 8:55 local time. And in Paris, the weather is going to be cloudy with a temperature of 10 degrees Celsius this morning. And I leave you now in the care of our cabin crew, and Lynn, our purser, is now going to give you a number of safety instructions, which I will ask you to thoroughly comply with. Thank you very much, and I wish you a very nice flight.
C'est aux portes. Armement de toboggan. Vérification de la porte opposée.
Unfortunately, the weather wasn't great for sightseeing today, and flying short haul on economy with Air France isn't too exciting either. The leg space is just decent enough for a tall guy like myself, and being an older aircraft, there wasn't even power outlets on this outdated seat. Service on board was a biscuit and a drink of your choice, that's it. Our flight today took us up to 38,000 feet straight southwest, hugging the west coast of Denmark before crossing into the Netherlands and over Amsterdam and Brussels in Belgium before starting our descent just after crossing the French border. The weather was somewhat better in Paris than it was in Oslo, so I'll let you enjoy the approach and landing into Charles de Gaulle International Airport. Welcome to Paris Charles de Gaulle International Airport. From here I have an hour and a half layover before my long-haul flight departs to Fortaleza in Brazil. And of course there is a trip report for that flight as well, so remember to check that out. A link to that episode is in the description below. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, then a thumbs up would be very much appreciated. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel to get notified whenever I upload another video. Until the next time, safe travels and see you on the next flight here on Strictly Flying. Take care, bye bye.